Yeah.
We are live here at Hooters on Wolf Road, or as we like to call it, Chez Orange Roof. We are under the orange roof.
Ooh, is that French?
Like French fries, French kisses.
I don't want those.
My wee wee, which I just did in the bathroom. So it is the NFL season is almost back. We are, 2 hours away from kickoff. But it feels like forever. And we are excited to watch people stare at themselves in the camera as they walk by. Hysterical. Loving it every second of it. That was my favorite thing I've ever seen. I just realized this is the first time my computer has been on camera without the Empire shield on it.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you not like it? Is it weird? It used to be
It's
great
weird.
promotion.
I feel very naked. It's just that I can't keep calm. I'm Scottish sticker now. I'm also cheap because I'm Scottish, which, is a thing. Clan McFrugal, as my father used to like to say. There goes the beautiful Dan Gadbois, speaking of French. So, we're here tonight. Of course, beer specials, great food specials, and beautiful women, a lot of them wearing football jerseys. Pretty much everything I get out of bed for every morning, except for the morning pee because I am old and you have to do that. So it's a great time. Get over to Hooters and hang with us, man. Just come by, watch some football. We're going to do our picks today. It's Tommy Gross, the king of the early question. Who you got tonight? Wait, that's who we got. You or get over here, Tommy G.
Go ahead. You can wave, sir. Sure. Just wave into the camera. Go ahead. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. We'll stop the podcast for a second.
Go ahead. Yes.
What? No, just the podcast. We're doing football picks, betting, and stuff like that.
Yes.
Live from Hooters.
Yes, if we're going to do a dance, I believe.
No, he said fantasy.
Oh,
he said you were his fantasy. Take your pants off.
Oh.
So I told him, no, you're an honorable man. And you don't do those kind of things. Oh, my God, the beautiful Nicole.
Thank you.
She's not in camera, though. Nicole, you got to come right here.
There you go.
There you go. I like Nicole fixes her hair. Nicole's a straight 10, and she gets between these two friggin' threes and goes, I need to primp. No, right. It's like, trust me, you're good. You're good.
Speaking of 10s, there's a 10 sitting right in front of us, Levack. There he is, the former producer of the Levack and Goz show. The last producer of the Levack and Goz show.
Technically, you were the last producer.
Of the Levack. Well, that's an interesting story about corporate radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Woods is back. There he is.
Right where he
there
belongs,
he is.
Off camera.
Go ahead, Woods. Stick that head right in there. That's a finger. Oh, God.
That's wow.
Right.
Well, he still takes direction as well as he used to. That's good to see. So there's two Matt Woods.
Yep.
There's Matt Woods, who is now one of the – are you like the general manager here? He's the GM of Hooters, which actually way prouder of him than I ever thought I'd be. And then there's the Matt Woods, who is the new president of the Albany Empire. So yesterday, I get a text from Goz to Matt Woods and myself about some, we'll say, odd-looking individual and whether or not he was going to be here today. And I have Matt Woods saved, so there's Matt Woods, who I knew first, who's Matt Woods. And then there's my guy from the Empire, who's Matt Woods Empire. So that's how I distinguish. And I'm sure I've thrown the wrong text, but I speak gibberish, so it didn't matter. So I realized instantly that Goz has sent it to Matt Woods Empire when he meant to send it to Matt Woods Hooters and just start making fun of the situation. But Matt Woods Empire is so polite, he's like, interesting. Like, he's just trying to play along, like he has some idea of what's going on. And I'm just like, nope. Goz has no effing clue what's going on. He texted the wrong Matt Woods. So
I'm sorry, Matt Woods. I wanted you guys to do the Spider-Man gift today.
Yeah.
Where you guys were just going to point at each other, but that didn't happen. Thanks a lot, Matt Woods.
You see, and then the other. Actually, yeah, you're older, so you would be the original. But yeah, you're the
senior, dare we say?
And you see, there's Dan Gadbois, one of the hosts of
Bros and Bourbon.
Yeah,
yes. Available now on Godzilla Media. Download, subscribe, rate, review.
It's the only show that doesn't directly feature me that's any good on Godzilla Media. It is. I learn on that show. I like when they hit me up on that show because not only do I have an excuse to pour a big glass of bourbon and hang out, but I also learn things because they're both kind of smart. But not these other crappy shows.
I feel like that should be the graphic for a book, right? Levack's endorsement. The only show that doesn't feature me that's not crap. Bros and Bourbon. Download today.
All right, what are the other shows right now on Godzilla Media?
Let's get into NFL talk,
so there's White Heat, which is which I like it's white heat because that's the color of steam that comes off of shit, which, is similar. Sports with a Z and a T.
Taping right now, by the way.
They're taping at this moment?
Yep.
Are they really?
You want to crash the show?
Well, the most ratings they'd ever have if we did. Can we do that and still be on our show?
No, I just realized we can't. That would have been a fun idea.
Because if we could merge the shows, I would do them the favor of being relevant. Who are WTF, which I know is a playful.
Fantasy,
yeah, it's playfully, but it realistically should be. Because everyone tunes in and goes, "Come on, why am I here?"
Mark Maron's looking around thinking, hey, get off those letters. That's my podcast.
And then what? So Bros and Bourbons, that's good. The Gab Boy twins. And then what are the other ones? Well, you got
no credentials required with Ryan McCarthy.
Yeah, Ryan's an odd dude. Ryan's an odd. like I like to watch no credentials. I like to watch no credentials required simply because then I know where Ryan is. Because if you can't see Ryan, there's a chance he can see you. It's kind of like a horror movie. Like you got to the people who run from Mike Myers are wrong. You keep him in your line of sight and you walk away slowly. Same with Ryan McCarthy. Okay, what other shows?
Football on the No. You've been on that show before, I believe.
Started on that nonsense. Okay. That show should be from the prison cell. They should both be occupied. Go on. What other shows?
Lindsay's show. Back in the New York Groove. Remember that?
When's the last time she did one?
Well,
I love Lindsay.
She's
one of my favorites. She's like the kid I never wanted, but it's not coming back.
Pugsley's Pit, the Travis Rigney Show, Katie's Corner. You know all
Travis
those.
Rigney, I've heard of.
Oh, you have?
I've heard of them.
Whoa.
I've heard of them. They tried to I like to call it status jacking. They tried to be relevant by talking about me. Which hey, look, go for it. Do what you got to do. Was it Katie's Corner?
Yes, you remember that popular show here in the Capital Region. Now we go to the podcast format.
When you say popular, do you know what that word means? Because it seems like immediate evidence says you're not sure what the word popular, what it means.
All right, just finish
popular
it off.
Generally means people care about something.
Just finish it off with Pugsley's Pit. We'll get it.
What is that?
That's Sean Martin. You know him.
Who?
Sean. Okay.
The hockey player?
Not the hockey.
You got like a famous hockey player? Oh, the little dude who looks like he was in a microwave?
No. Godzilla Media, YouTube, download, subscribe.
Godzilla Media.
There's put it over.
When other people say, no, we're not going to put that on the internet, Goz says, cut me a check. All right. Daniel Rossi asking for the pick already. Daniel, calm down. We're building to the pick. I promise you we will give our picks for tonight's game with plenty of time for you to jump on your DraftKings app, run to the corner, talk to Vinny the Fish, go to Rivers, however you wager, especially if it's on the app. We promise we'll give it to you early enough. And who knows? Maybe it just means you can bet against us.
Daniel, you know what? Just because of that comment what Levack just said there, and because Tom asked for 1-2, don't forget, the wait is almost over. A new football season about to begin. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Get up 7, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice. And if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code 518 to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's promo code 518. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and physically present in New York. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football. Terms. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Please bet responsibly. That's a lot. You just talked a lot. I feel like the show's over.
Show's over? That's it? DraftKings Sportsbook.
You a lot. You learned a lot of things today. You did. All right, so we're live at Hooters. Love being here. Love Hooters. Great place. Yeah, you know what sucks?
What?
DraftKings not in Georgia.
No.
By the way. Or Florida. The 2 places that I'm going to be for the next 2 weeks. So anybody, oh great, you're gonna go to a warm place. It's warm here. It's the temperature of Satan's butthole in Columbus, Georgia, and Orlando, Florida right now. So
can we discuss it? Can we discuss what the road trip is about?
Discuss whatever you want. What do you want to do?
It's the off season. How good does this graphic look, by the way?
Oh, what do you got?
Look at that. Levack road trip. We leave it up like that. I think that sums it up. We'll leave it.
How many beers have you had?
A lot of ups and downs there. Yeah, what is the road trip for here?
All right, so tomorrow I'm hopping in the old Mohawk Chevrolet Silverado LTZ, driving to Columbus, Georgia. We're going to have a big press conference, big news coming up on Tuesday from the Columbus Lions. Very excited. I'm not going to give away exactly what we're talking about yet, but I will tell you that we're excited. We're very excited as the Lion King. Very excited with my pride and what we're up to right now. A lot of good work, a lot of good and the best part about at least half of this press conference that is really cool was done before I even got there. I'm just lucky enough to be there to take credit for it, which is kind of what I've done with the Empire for 4 years. So that's, and then the other part we're working hard on some stuff, and it's gonna be very, very cool. And then I'm going to drive from Columbus, Georgia, which is about 16 to 17 hours from here in a drive, to Orlando, Florida, which is about 6 hours from Columbus, Georgia, for the National Arena League owners meetings, where we're going to dictate all the cool stuff going on this upcoming season, like rebound nets. And then I'm going to drive to Albany, New York, which is about 20 hours away from Orlando, all in my amazing Chevy Silverado, thanks to Mohawk Chevrolet, right off Exit 12 of the Northway, where they go out of their way to please you.
That sounds like someone else who does Mohawk. You know what? I won't dive into that. 40 hours you're going to be on the road. 40 hours.
But I have I got a free Audible tryout, and I get to listen to Stephen King's new novel, which is 23 hours. So I just have to find 17 more hours, and I'll be all good.
So we've clearly found out the NAL, it is game season and non-game season. There is no such thing as an off season in the National Arena League.
No off days, just like people at the gym. That's what I'm like, except for I don't go to that place. I'm allergic to the gym. Every time I go there, I get all sweaty, can't breathe, face turns red. Matt just got all seductive. He's like, it's gym.
Shout out to Robert, by the way. We see him. If you start working out, Levack, you get frozen again, by the way, over at Impact Athletic Center.
Is that who Robert is?
Yeah.
Impact Athletic Center?
You remember the old cryotherapy we've done before?
Oh, the one over by HVCCCCC.
Yes,
right?
Formerly.
Yeah. Oh, is he
now he's moved. Impact Athletic Center now. Yeah.
Where is he now?
The Impact Athletic Center.
Where is it?
Half Moon. Hey, Kevin Herter's place. The house that Herter built, you might know it as.
All right. I'm only asking because the Empire is looking for a new cryotherapy center, and there's a chance it'll be in Half Moon. No, so very cool. Tommy Gross. Listen,
Tommy Gross got some inside here, Levack. Look out.
Tommy Gross wants to know if we're naming a new head coach on the 13th because the Lions don't have one yet. And it's only if you say yes to the contract offer, Tommy. It's only if you agree to coach us.
Oh, breaking news
you say
here.
Yes, we're in. Maybe. I'll just say maybe for the head coach announcement. Maybe. That's all you get is a little maybe from me. But no, we're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look at that. Look at that. I just made a deal. Just made a deal for the Empire on my way out the door. Robert said, yes, sir. Would be happy to freeze you all. I feel like your sales pitch was better back in the day.
You gave me a great. I was in there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you went in 2 weeks ago?
I did. We had.
Why do you still look like crap?
I had a great job. Great job getting frozen. All right.
All right. So much stuff. We'll get back to the NAL stuff, of course. But again, live at Hooters, seeing some people come in. Thursday Night Football is back, baby. So the NFL season about to kick off. And we're happy to be here. Beer specials and again, the beautiful, talented Hooters girls. That's all there is.
Don't forget, we got
$5 something or others.
$3 short drafts of Coors and Miller Lite on football game days, and $5 Sam Adams Boston Lager in season.
So but the short draft is kind of like it's almost like Hooters underselling what they are, because this is the tall. Right, the AKA short draft is like your typical pint of beer. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
So when you say a $3 short draft, you're talking about a $3 pint, a draft of Coors Light or Miller Lite. Me, I know you look at this physique and think that's a guy who's going to show a lot of restraint. No, I just go right for the big glass.
Take that up with the bosses.
Yeah.
Dan and Woods, you've got to complain about the structure of those deals.
Well, I was just saying shorts, but they're pints. Like they're what everybody else would just call a draft. But Hooters wants to give you, mounds of enjoyment. They want to fill your breast area with excitement.
That's the spot they're going to fill? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
that's
that.
where your heart area is, I hear. All right. So let's do this. Wait, what is this? Is this year in Buffalo? What is that?
Is this year for the Buffalo Bills, Levack? They're playing against the Rams tonight. Did I not spell that graphic right? Some may not have listened to that podcast. Some may not have listened to the NFL preview show, which is available right now on Godzilla Media, that you did for the preseason. Last year, you picked the Rams, who play the Bills tonight. This year, you picked the Bills to win it all. Are you getting afraid after all the national love the Bills are getting? The Bills Mafia.
I don't love the love. That and Minnesota, those are two teams that I'm excited about watching, and I think there's a lot of upward potential. But when you hear a lot of other people say it usually doesn't work that well. The best part about and I want to be clear, I like the Bills this year. I don't love them the way I loved the Rams last year. Like I just, for whatever reason, I don't know what clicked in my brain. I knew the Rams were going to win it all. And I've known a lot of things that didn't come true, but that was one where I was just like, that's right. And I don't know the Bills are going to win it all. I just think they should. I think they've got the best GM head coach tandem in all of football, maybe in all of sports, when the way those two work together. But Josh Allen's got to be ready to be the hunted. He's never been the hunted as a pro. Oh my God, he's really good. I think he's the best. He's the first quarterback off every board in fantasy football. The Bills are going to the Super Bowl champs. And I think tonight is going to tell you pretty much all you need to know about the Bills. I think Sean McDermott rolls in there thinking, look, this isn't just game 1 of 17. Like this isn't go 16-1 and lose tonight. I think he wants to prove a point tonight. So that's what I think you're going to learn a lot about the Bills tonight.
Everything's lining up right for Buffalo to have this be the season that breaks through. The 13-2 game against Kansas City last year. Also on that preview show I'd mentioned, I'll still stick by this as we're a few hours away from kickoff. I don't believe the Chiefs are making the playoffs this season. That first 9 weeks of the schedule is brutal. The AFC West is brutal. They've gone to the AFC title game 6 seasons in a row. Like, you just don't see that happen in the NFL. So everything lines up really well for the Bills. My fear for Buffalo is all of a sudden the pressure's on. Have they ever had that happen before? Not in my lifetime.
Like, you got to go back to the Super Bowl teams. But even then, I don't think they were – I'm not positive. I have to look, but I don't think they were ever favored over Dallas. Maybe they were favored over the Giants. Maybe. But I don't think they were the favorite in those 4 Super Bowls.
No. Not the Dallas one. Maybe against the Washington racial slurs they might have been.
But that Washington team were road graders.
Yeah, they got smoked in that game too. Yeah, Buffalo is truly the favorite to win it all. I guess that pushback is they haven't been tested in that spot before where they are the hunted. They're the favorite. Do they play call differently? Is the defense is better? Do they get Odell Beckham Jr.? There's a lot of different things that can happen. The expectations of Buffalo too, it's just 5 years ago where if you were a Bills fan and watched the Bills lose, your expectation was same old Buffalo. Now, if they lose, the sky is falling. Everyone sucks. McDermott's over. That could potentially be the reaction of the Bills Mafia and everything else. I look at the AFC, though. The biggest thing that benefits Buffalo is who is the biggest test. Like who is it? Is it Kansas City? You haven't got through them yet. Your roster was built to beat them. You haven't done it. I don't think they're going to be in that spot. Is it Baltimore? Is it Cincy? Is it New England? Like, it's a struggle to find out if it's not Buffalo, then who. I picked the Ravens because they were so injured last season, and Lamar Jackson's in this weird contract spot in opposition to Josh Allen, little chip on the shoulder. That's why I like Baltimore. But besides Baltimore, that's another huge advantage of Buffalo getting in there. There's not a lot of comp, but can they handle being the hunted? I think it's a very fair question. And is their running attack good enough? Like James Cook and Devin Singletary, can you just have Josh Allen win games by himself?
I think
that's a lot of pressure.
I think you're going to see an emphasis put on Singletary this year to run the football. Honestly, like the AFC, I think is far stronger than the NFC because, sure, the Bills are the definitive favorite. Like, but are you telling me that if the Bengals went back after adding that offensive line, that it would blow your mind? You picked the Ravens already. If the Browns are in striking distance when they get Watson back, like who knows? But like the entire AFC West, every one of them has 2 elite defensive linemen. You know what I mean? And a Pro Bowler at quarterback. So there's definitely a lot going on there. And then I've got like 2 of my dark horse favorites that I think I'm going to be wagering on a lot in the AFC, who I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl. They may not win a playoff game, but I think they're going to ruin a lot of people's seasons. You'll hear those during the pitch. That's a little
tease action. All right,
forward momentum for you right there, my friend. But no, I think it's this season. I feel the least certain I've ever felt. Maybe it's because I'm not used to the Bills like being a winning team. Like, you know, like they've won, but to be the team that's the favorite going in feels weird. I remember them being a punchline on freaking X-Files. Like the bad guy behind the scenes of the series when I was the guy who was known as, it was like the smoking man. So he's like smoking Marbs. And there's like a part where he's having a meeting about just like basically crapping on the world. And he's going around the room. He's like this. And he goes, and I swear to you, the Bills will never win a Super Bowl as long as I'm alive. Like that kind of like, it's just like, because it would make the world feel good.
Right.
So it's like those kind of like things. I mean, freaking Ice Cube lyrics, and I won't choke like the Buffalo Bills. Like, so to have them be the team that I feel is legitimately the favorite and should win it all, I think it's just kind of screwed up my entire NFL compass.
I'm okay with Buffalo making this transition from the underdog. Everybody universally is rooting for them to being the favorite. It's going to be fun to follow, and especially with the next 3 cities. I know you and I have mentioned a bunch to each other. The next 3 cities that are hosting the Super Bowl. Glendale, Arizona, which you covered that Super Bowl. You know what Waste Management, that tour is all about.
God, I can't wait.
Followed by Las Vegas, followed by New Orleans. If you want to go on a stretch here, Bills Mafia, and go to those 3 cities, we've seen the videos from our pal Sal Capaccio of what Bills Mafia does in Vegas and Nashville for Titan games. Oh, and by the way, they play them week 2. That game's in Western New York, though.
That's an underrated rivalry.
It is. Great games every single time those teams play.
I like this. So Louis, Baltimore running game is up in the air at this point. Lamar might be leading rusher for the first 2 weeks. Dude, Lamar might be the leading rusher for the season. He's Lamar Jackson. He can rip off a 200-yard rushing game like any like on 3 carries. Like, I feel like you know it's a decent point. J.K. Dobbins hurt and all these other things, but at the same time, I feel like Louis was like, hot take, look out. It's like, well, yeah, you just said like the most prolific rushing quarterback like since they started the forward pass might lead his team in rushing.
What if I put an asterisk next to that and said he might be from Syracuse and feels a little bit more hurt by Lamar Jackson?
Oh, he's one of yours. So it's just like basically he's just like reminding us the devil, like, you know, like the devil's out there, man.
Lamar Jackson's the devil.
He's the devil, and he's still out there.
I wish Brian Kelly would do it like that. By the way, I wish Brian Kelly's voice would be Bobby Boucher's mom.
Brian, who knows if he thinks it'll make him popular, he might do it. Did you see his press conference? He's up there and he's chastising the reporters for being late, and some like you can hear like a reporter's voice in the back, like maybe if you won, we'd be on time.
And by the way, double douche off right there.
Oh my
Brian
God, yeah,
Kelly's douchey, but that reporter, shut your mouth.
That's Kong versus Godzilla in a douche battle right there.
God.
It's definitely a thing. All right, so let's do this. Let's talk college football. I think because the excitement that I've got for the NFL, I definitely did not dive as deep into the college football ranks as I did last week. By the way, started with a Hundy, 100 my DraftKings account. Before I started betting football this week, it was up to 196.
Whoa,
196.
Ooh, you're running away with that.
Almost doubled my money. Yeah, but at this exact moment in time, because again, I'm leaving the beautiful state of New York, and I'm going to states that aren't as friendly with our good friends at DraftKings. At this moment, I have $27.50 in my account and an S-load of wagers. So who knows how that'll go?
A lot of things can happen. I can't wait.
A lot of real minutes left, as Goz would say.
I can't wait for a few things. I'm going to hold off on the one I really am excited for. Our visual audience will get a little preview of that. But Syracuse and UAlbany first. UAlbany Great Danes. You and I have covered the team before in different ways, whether actually be on the field or talking to coaches and everything else. I can promise you this. I truly believe this. This Saturday's game for UAlbany will be the highest attended game of this season because you and I saw the first home game of the year every year. I don't know what's different about it, but that first home game is packed. Whether it's the Saturday night kickoff, whether it's homecoming, it's not really homecoming, but it just feels like it because the students are back. that game is going to be packed, and that's going to play a factor in the New Hampshire game. So if you're telling me you get tested by Baylor, you're going to have a Saturday night crowd that's usually the best crowd of the season. That's all great stuff for Coach Gattuso and his team. So I feel really good now reevaluating the Great Danes for their Saturday matchup, because you and I saw it. When the burn is packed, it's a really cool photo to check out and see when UAlbany has that stuff working in their favor.
Yeah, and, absolutely. And to be honest with you, too, like something this team, this in particular group of Great Danes, I want the Capital Region to support them more than ever. Like we've been there. We've seen these rosters. We've seen these teams. We've seen them get bigger, stronger, faster every year that Coach Greg Gattuso has been there. But this one, like, I feel like the defense is like the size you want your guys to be at this level finally. The offense is there. Like, got to see the quarterback play. Got to see all these things. I think I really want the support to be there this year, because this is a team that, like, look, let's be real. They got fed to the freaking Lions.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. They got fed to the Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah. And from the sounds of what I'm hearing, the players all got it. Like, they all understood what it was going to be. They didn't go into it with this like weird vibe. They didn't come out of it with a weird vibe. So I'd like to see them get that hometown support, especially in the first game. I wish to God I could be there. And kind of like just show them that, like, yeah, we understand that was a bad optic, as people like to say, and like jackasses who only see scorecards will think that you put it in poor showing. But like, we get it. We know what you did. You stepped up in weight. You stepped up in power, and you played your asses off trying to see what you could really do against them. And now you get to come back down to your weight class and beat the living hell out of people.
The first home game in college is far more important than the first home game in professional sports, because that college field gets the students and the alumni base excited, thinking, oh, wow, they're going to win. Like, they're good. Like, and if you have a great experience for that first game, especially on a Saturday night, okay, I'm coming back for a few more games. I think UAlbany can change the season and find the competition. So, yeah, shout out to Coach Gattuso and his squad doing all that. The Syracuse Orange are heading to Connecticut to take on the UConn Huskies, and this is a serious article that was written on ESPN.com. It may still be the lead story on ESPN. Profile on Jim Mora Jr. You might remember him from his NFL days for the Atlanta Falcons, recently coached UCLA before Chip Kelly, that says, losing feels like winning for UConn. That's right, a full article about how UConn is still losing, but because they're not losing by that much anymore, it feels like they're getting better. Interesting.
Yeah, that is something you just
Go Orange.
You know what that is? That's that moment where somebody has a deadline and it's like, you need to write an article. It needs to be X amount of words and it needs to be now. And they go, oh, how do I polish this turd? Like, what do I do here? Oh, you know what? Moral victories. We'll write about moral victories today with Mora Jr. The guy whose dad is famous for saying playoffs, like, we'll do that. It'll be great. That's crap. That's just poop. That's you. No, there's losing does not feel like winning.
I wonder sometimes, I want to make sure I get the author right on that article too, if they actually are based in Bristol and they're like, yeah, I don't really feel like driving right now. I'm going to make sure I believe it was Myron Metcalf. I'm going to find it here in a second. Oh my God,
please tell me it was. I used to respect him too.
And I know he does a lot of stuff for ESPN radio now, but I'm going to find that article in a second because I know it was just up there.
Did he go to UConn?
Like, I do not believe he did go to UConn, no.
Because that could be the other part too. Like, maybe he's a UConn alum and he's just like, you know what? I need something to feel good about this. He's just delusional. So he's just like, I got to figure something out here. And then realize, like, later that it was a terrible, or maybe if it's Metcalf, he might be trolling us. I don't want to believe that Myron Metcalf, that's his actual take. I just don't want to believe that.
Syracuse, I'll still stick by that Sean Tucker's the truth. That's not hopping off that anytime
He's
soon.
fun to watch. That's for sure.
He is awesome. It's a
Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question,
sure.
Right? So let's say for conversation, I'm headed to, I don't know, Alabama, where you can bet on DraftKings. Can I bet on Syracuse if I'm in Alabama, or is it still the fact that I'm from New York that I still can't bet on Syracuse?
You can bet on Syracuse in a different state.
Well, I'm not going to because they suck, but sorry.
How dare you? Come on, they can cover. They can cover.
What is the spread?
20.5, I believe, was the last time I checked.
They're a 20.5 point favorite.
Yes.
That doesn't scare you a little bit? That's a big, meaty number. That's a big, ugly number.
I feel like I would take Syracuse with the points just because it looks like they removed that article, which is hysterical.
Yeah, even they realized that was poop. They were like, you know what? That's embarrassing.
That's unbelievable. I would say I would take Syracuse with the points because UConn's been covering recently. So I think the benefit of the doubt is happening.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, but let me just translate, too, to anybody who's about to run to their app or to Rivers. Goz would take Syracuse every week. It's actually extremely beneficial to old Tommy Boy that you can't bet Syracuse in New York. Like you can't bet it. Like you can't bet an in-state university in the state you are, because that solves all the problems.
A lot of in-games too. I would definitely do if they have the lead. Like just kind of doubling, tripling down. It would have happened.
Yeah, that would not be good. You'd be divorced by now. That would, like that. Well, no, you wouldn't, because she wouldn't be able to afford to divorce you because all the money would be gone.
By the way, is Texas back?
No.
Oh, I held it on for so long, Levack. Those bums in Texas. Is Texas back? They get Alabama. What a bunch of idiots scheduling the Crimson Tide. They're going to get pounded. And I can't wait to constantly scream Saturday at noon. Is Texas back after every single score? Oh, they're down 42-0.
I got Bama at -20. And I took Bama. I think like these are the paper tigers. These are the ones that like that Saban enjoys, because it looks like I beat a real school. It looks like I'm punching a heavyweight, but reality, I'm slapping the hell out of somebody when they're still trying to get to their feet.
Yes.
Texas is. I always believe Texas will find their way back. There's just too much money. There's too much passion for the program, but they're not ready. Like, they're just not ready. Bama's going to beat the crap out of them because it's going to look like a nice resume builder.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to watch Texas get pounded and watch the gifts flow over and over and over again.
So we're both on Bama?
Yes.
Right.
Here's the college football picks I'll give you.
All right.
Before I give them to you, Johnstone Supply in Troy. That's how you tease it right there. Fall is officially here, Levack, and that means changes are coming to your home. Does your furnace need to be replaced? Are you looking for an upgrade for your heating system? Johnstone Supply in Troy. Make sure your home is heated properly for the colder weather on the way. Family owned and operated business. Shout out to George and the crew on 6th Avenue in Troy. Been helping people for decades across the capital region, and now they can help you. Give them a call today at 518-27. Are you calm like that? 518-272-5522. I want someone to walk into 6th Avenue and try just do that voice. Frighten George. 518-272-5922. That is the number. You know what? Do that instead. Use this voice and call 518-272-5922 and say, Levack and Goz told me to do this on the phone. And then ask about their heating systems, their furnaces, AC, whatever you need. Johnstone Supply.
Please tell me about your furnace systems. Help!
It's going to take care of you. Facebook, Johnstone Supply, Troy, NY. Shout out to George and everybody. Johnstone Supply.
George!
In
Help!
Troy.
Give me the John Goodman, please.
I've got Alabama.
Bama.
Plus 6.5. Ball State.
Ball. You said ball.
David Letterman. Funny Letterman. I got Tennessee destroying Pitt. I'm not a Tennessee football fan, but Hendon Hooker's awesome.
Hell.
Minus 5.5 for the Vols on the road. And Levack, you're going to like this one.
Oh.
Give me all 51.5 points of Michigan against Hawaii.
You're laying 51.
51.5.
You're laying 51.
Give me them all.
All
Hawaii's in shambles. Timmy Chang throwing the football. They stink.
All right, here's what I got, right? I got I told you I'm taking Bama. I got Penn State not covering against Ohio.
Ooh.
Ohio plus 25.5. I'm taking the number. I think Baylor and BYU are gonna pinball this thing. I think it's gonna be crazy. So give me the over 53.5. I don't really believe in USC, but USC Stanford is usually like a bully game where Stanford pushes USC around. I think USC is ready to not be bullied. So again, give me another over 67. And Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is really freaking good. So sorry, Marshall. Minus 20.5. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. I got a bunch, man. Actually, I did pick a few.
Ooh,
I did pick a few. I got Georgia State plus 7, hosting North Carolina, and then my final one. kind of on par with what you were saying about Michigan. I figure if you're going to bet 51 points from one team, you might as well just take the over of 67 instead.
The math doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, because if Michigan's going to go out there and drop 52 on you, it's like eventually they're going to get tired, and you're going to sneak in the end zone a couple, 2-3 times. So I'll take that over instead. There's
so much going on there. I like that theory with the math on the big point games. If you're going to take Michigan, you might as well think if Hawaii can't score. Right. The Ohio one. I'm not going to break down Ohio Bobcat football, but I will say 25 is one hell of an awkward number.
Yeah, 25 and a half.
25 and a half is outrageous.
I'll take it all day.
And then the other part, Georgia State you mentioned, that is a Georgia State and BYU Baylor. BYU Baylor, the adults, it's September. Always got to be careful betting the adults. Yep. Got to go with the money. I like the overplay. And then you mentioned, who did I just say? Ohio. Georgia State. Georgia State against North Carolina. North Carolina should have lost that game against App State.
And I'm not saying I took Georgia State because some of the people I'll be talking to all week went to Georgia State. But I'm not going to tell you that I didn't take them for that reason, too. It's instant bonding. Look at my winning Georgia State tickets.
We love you.
Yeah, look at me. Welcome me to your families and your friends. And
do you want to hit Tommy Gross's comment here? Because it is a college football themed one. Tommy Gross is asking, what do you guys think of Pat McAfee joining ESPN's College Game Day?
I love it. I think he's got his finger on the pulse of what entertainment is nowadays between the podcast and everything, being in wrestling. He was an energy plus last time he was on there, and he could be the next Lee Corso. He could be the guy who though actually Lee looks like he's significantly in better shape this year than he did last year. But he's not. Lee Corso's not going to do headgear picks forever. I can see Pat McAfee being a guy who's like, he kicks a ball, and it disintegrates off his foot, and the color is the color of the team he picked. You know what I mean? So it's like Michigan State versus Michigan. He kicks it, boom, the ball explodes, and it's blue. It's go blue. He picked Michigan. Yeah, like something like that.
Because you got to find something different than Corso. You don't want to do like the headgear because that was his thing.
And you can't just sit there and just pick either.
No.
Anymore, so
and that's it. Like that's exactly why McAfee's coming. And no disrespect to like how great he's done and everything else. The reason he's coming is because of Corso. Everyone knows like he's winding it down. Social media is being pretty cruel to Coach out there. So he wanted like a good positive buzz. McAfee is fascinating, man.
Yeah.
Like to offer like this media perspective you and I have seen from people who have done something like this. So McAfee has left or quit or moved on, whatever term you want. Exited is the new term. Barstool, DAZN, CBS Sports Network, CBS Radio, Sirius. In about a 5-year window, he's on his 5th different spot. Now, most people
Where's he now?
He's now with YouTube and ESPN Game Day. So he's just doing his own independent thing at this point for his show. But I know people in our field will call this sports talk in a non-traditional media platform. That was really fast. If you went to 5 different markets in 5 years, 5 different markets in 5 years, people would say you're difficult to work with. McAfee does not seem to have that stigma around him, which is different.
Because it doesn't feel like it for me. It doesn't feel like leaving. He more feels like a hired gun. Like he's the like in the Old West. Where it's like you Roadhouse, they're remaking Roadhouse with Conor McGregor. So it's like the beginning of Roadhouse. Dalton, Patrick Swayze's character's already cleaned up that bar. So the dude from the Double Douche comes in, and I need you to come help me with my bar. And he goes and he cleans up that bar, and then he's going to go to the next. Like that's what it's almost like. We need something. We need something to beef everything up. Let's go get McAfee. And then he does it. He helps you. He puts you up. And then he goes.
A pop.
Right.
A rating pop. Yeah.
And it was only a matter of time before he looked around and went, why am I giving any of this to them? Why am I giving any of this? I'll go get my own. I'll make the 4-letter network pretend they're cool again. Give me a ton of money and just do my thing.
I hope that's the attitude. I love that. I was getting a little cynical thinking about McAfee where I'm like, everyone says he's constantly great, but he's leaving his employee. I hope that's the future, that someone hires a hired gun and goes for the pop for the rating and says, like, that's the reason we're bringing him in. Because, like, you can look at anybody. McAfee, Portnoy's kind of in that same mix, too. Like, there are certain guys that you go for the big pop, and it can work. Stephen A., I guess. Russo, Mad Dog Russo, and he's doing stuff for ESPN.
Well, the same as like when you have a grand opening and you bring a big celebrity.
Yeah.
All the times I had to do that to help people. That's
Levack and Goz are here live at Hooters on opening day. That's right.
No. Say it the way everybody's used to it. Levack and Goz. Like that's how everybody usually.
I'll edit that on the audio side.
You could fix that. That'd be phenomenal.
I see you, Matt Bob.
Yeah, it's too early. Well, and like I don't know.
Texas back?
I feel like he just tuned in because Goz has already said yes that it's time to keep saying that. But Goz is doing it in a very evil and sarcastic way, which I respect and I'm good with. There's actually there's a lot of little news things. Do you want to do the little news things? You want to do our football picks,
news things, and then hold off for Q&A to end the day. That's kind of my thought process right now.
All right. I'm fine. Whatever.
I feel like there's little news things we have to address.
But I want to ask you something. I don't know. Is this
no graphic?
Here? I don't know if it is or not. I don't pay attention to your crap. Are you a fan of what's going on in AEW? Who's going to be in the Cap region next week?
Wednesday.
I'm gonna miss it. In my house in the MVP arena, the house Levack built. A lot of people call it. Are you like a fan of the CM Punk pipe bomb? And then like the EVPs, which I believe is Spoiled Wrestler. Are you a fan of them all like pulling down the curtain, the kayfabe, and just talking about each other?
I love it.
Okay.
I cannot get enough of it. And originally I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I feel like it's too inside. Like you're really going to the fans that are, I'll use the term like smart wrestling fan. You're going too much to them. I can't get enough of it. Constantly update my phone, wonder what Punk's going to say. Like now people are getting so good at this editing stuff that they're going back and finding old promos about Punk from AEW that like have these subliminal messages that like we're trying to seek out a little bit. It is the most talked about thing in sports, combat sports this week. And Tony Khan opened yesterday and basically never mentioned their names.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like there was a third-party legal team that he was smart and said, I got to protect myself. I don't want to call somebody out to use it against me. Dude. And now Albany's in the middle of it. Yeah. Because Albany's going to have a huge role in this whole thing coming up next week.
I was packing for my trip because it's just like it's been nonstop. Like I didn't know if I was like I still have to mow my lawn before I leave, or else my poor neighbor is going to be like over there with a weed whacker trying to fix it for me. And you and Boston Dan were sitting there texting about it, and I'm like, "Guys, this isn't right. I'm doing laundry. Like, well, how dare you?" But here's my over the top, way too in depth, and feel free to comment on this. Levack, simmer down. Nobody gives a crap about this. But here's my question: is it this kind of stuff that's important to a guy like you, who's been a wrestling fan for entirely too long? Let's be honest, booger eating basement lever. And is it going to roll out like the new coming wrestling fans? Is it going to exclude them who just want to believe that Hulk is all about the training, the prayers, the vitamins, and the million Hulkamaniacs on his back?
Excellent question.
Thank you.
That's the show. Here's what Tony Khan's figured out, and this is kind of like a little bit like Matt.
I don't feel like Tony Khan's figured out anything. He's figured out how to Tony Khan has mastered the "I'm gonna sneeze" face. Like, watch that break. He looks like he's holding back a sneeze the entire time.
The hair's all over the place, the eyes.
It's like, look into the light. It's going to make you sneeze, and then you can move on.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh, it is. I mean, what?
R.I.P. Rick James.
And the Queen. I like Pepsi better.
I would say this. Tony Khan knows his audience. Like, he doesn't need to play like the eat your vitamins, say your prayers. He doesn't need that. He knows his audience is males 18 to 40 who are super diehard pro wrestling fans. Who that's what they want. They want
Meatloaf.
That's right. They want action. They want drama. They want to sound like the smartest guys in the room. They want to meet the guy. That's what they want. So Tony Khan says, "This is my super passionate audience. I will cater to them and give them what they want. I don't care about anything else because they're the most engaging part of my audience that I care about on social downloads, gear."
I just want to be clear. No one can reference professional wrestling and be the smartest person in the room. Like if Bill Nye the Science Guy explained how to split an atom, then followed it up with, "Hey, did you see AEW last week?" I instantly think he was wrong about everything. like, if Neil deGrasse Tyson came in here and did a full lecture on boobs and like it just changed our whole lives, but then followed it up with, "You guys going to AEW on Wednesday?" I instantly think his IQ goes from like 200 to 4.
There's something about Tony Khan being like Mr. Analytics. Like he was like presented as the analytics guy. It's like, we got to keep the records of what the wrestlers are. You got to. It's like, you're picking the record, Tony. Like, it doesn't. You're booking the show. Who cares what the record is?
You did just say something though that I think is remarkably right. That he knows his audience, because like I jokingly say wrestling fans are like booger eating basement dwellers, but like, have you ever seen a rich person that looks more like they're probably a booger eating basement dweller than Tony Khan? Like, I've never been a bully. Like verbally, I've probably done some bullyish things, but it's all in good fun, allegedly. As far as you know, you're not smart enough to understand. Anybody who's watching knows I didn't look at Goz when I said that. I looked at you.
Right.
But like, I see Tony Khan and I start giving things wedgies around the room. I like yeah, exactly. I become Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds. I rip the sleeves off whatever I'm wearing and then run around the house.
By, I screamed out nerd. He thought I was talking about him. Oh, well.
He is also still drying his own hands on his ass. So he's not high on my list of people I need to impress today. You know, so like, yeah, but Tony Khan, like you could, if there was a guy who it's like, well, how can you understand what the guy who's making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year when you're a millionaire because dad's a gajillionaire, how could you understand what he's like? It's like, and then Tony Khan walks in and you go, oh no, he's got it. Oh no, that guy, yeah, no, that's all right. That's okay. Like, oh, the guy who ordered an appetizer plate of boogers, the guy who thinks that Snot Rocket belongs on a charcuterie platter. Yeah, no, that guy gets it. That guy understands. He's got it figured out.
Relying on him. The show's going to be awesome Wednesday in Albany.
Yeah, it will.
It's going to be great. Hopefully Tony Khan will be here. Maybe they'll come to Hooters.
There's no doubt that AEW is fired up about Albany. Like Albany fans are special. Like you're a different group, and that's why I like doing stuff with the Empire as long as you have like I see who you are when you really behind something. If you watched that, and I've never watched a full episode of anything of AEW. It was on a lot after you and Dan started talking about because I wanted to see what's going on. And then it became, how many times are they going to say Albany, New York? It was like, if they went 17 seconds without referencing that they were going to be in Albany, New York, I don't believe it. It was nonstop. They want Albany. They want Albany to become an AEW house and not a WWE house.
Are you bummed that Colony Zone, South Colony Zone, Bobby Fish is no longer with AEW? This would have been a big night for him if he was still with them.
You know, I'm a little upset with Bobby, and D Scott.
And D Scott's involved.
Two other 94s.
He sent me a nice note today, D Scott.
Yeah, and look, I genuinely like both people, but I'm a little upset with both. Like we're 94s is what I like to call us, the 94s, because we're all class of 94. Even though some people's Wikipedia, Bobby, make you look like you're younger. The Undisputed, that Bobby and D Scott are doing a podcast. It's like 11th in the country right now.
Yeah, it's on fire. Those guys are
good.
crushing it.
Yeah, so F them. Because then Mike hit me up, and when Mike Corda, also a 94, who is my boss and something or other. I don't know. We're equals on some levels, but not financially. Actually, I think I'm stronger financially at the exact moment.
And physically.
Oh, that goes without saying. Come on. It sounded like we were like making out very awkwardly.
Audience didn't like that segment.
Yeah. Or they did, which means you guys are sick. He hits me up and everybody in the office, he goes, all right, we got to start doing a podcast. First of all, the guy hates microphones. And second of all, acts like because those two are like our buddy who's made it like to a degree, made it in the world of wrestling. And our other buddy who is now like his podcast is being pushed by iHeartMedia. And it's good. Like, I haven't listened to it, but I know those two are entertaining dudes. I assume it's good. I mean, I'm not going to bother listening to it. It's not as good as what we do. But, like, he, like, act like just because they did one podcast and it got, like, really great ratings, that all of a sudden, like oh, what are you guys doing? And it's like, you know what? So like, I would like someone to listen to one of these shows, the Levack and Goz shows. Pick one where I've actually prepared. You'll know the difference. It's pretty early. You can figure it out. And then listen to theirs. And then tell me which one's better. I mean, because I think it's going to be us. We're trained professionals, you know. We're not running around in, like, tighty shorts, you know, kicking people, you know. We're not doing that. Wouldn't be attractive like it is when Bobby does it, but we could do it.
I would say, to Bobby's credit, You want to talk about a hell of a time to launch a podcast? You're an ex-AEW guy, ex-WWE guy in the middle of the most drama-filled week possible, and you can say whatever you want. Good for you, timing, Bobby Fish.
Yeah, I want nothing but the best for both those guys. I really, really do, as long as it's just a little bit less than what I have.
I think that's everybody's feeling in life, honestly.
That's my feeling about everyone. Like, I just want you to have everything except for one thing less than I have.
How will it benefit me? And then we'll talk about
right. Can I have one more thing so that when we get together, I can go, little buddy? You know what I mean? Like, that's all I want. I don't think that's a lot to ask. Live from Hooters right here on Wolf Road. The NFL season kicks off in just about an hour.
See, you got me that time. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the talents. Look at the beauty. She came in looking like a hot yoga mom.
She's beauty and she's grace. She's Miss Hooters of the States.
Wow.
Beauty and grace, Miss Hooter of the States. And I just turned, no offense, I just did turn around and look at, she works at Hooters, but not her greatest asset. She has a slightly better asset than she's okay with that. She's wearing a Steelers jersey. So,
Levack, any thoughts on Queen Elizabeth's passing today?
No.
Okay.
Not really. I don't know.
Was she elite?
I mean, she was a member of the elite. Huh? Like that? You know, like I don't understand. Like, I don't ever want to sit here and be like, somebody died. I don't care. But like, I've never understood the United States people's like freaking fascination with the royal family. And it's just never made sense to me. Like, even growing up, like I remember my family, like people talking about it, and my dad looking over going, how do I care? Like, they're over there. Like, they
cross the pond.
They don't even have dentists. Like, what are you? Come on, totally whatever. I don't know. Like, R.I.P. I don't know anything about her. Like, realistically, like she could have founded the freaking KKK for all I know. Like, I don't know anything about it. I don't think that's accurate.
You haven't watched The Crown.
What?
You haven't watched The Crown.
No.
Is my voice getting different because I'm speaking of the Queen?
I'm sorry.
England.
I'm sorry. I just let Matt Bob. Classic bully Levack. My pod is better than yours. Yeah, it is.
That Woods requested a Mount Rushmore of your favorite monarchs. We will not do that. It will
me. Steve King, who we used to work with in radio.
King Kong Bundy.
Ooh, King Kong
That's
Bundy.
The
King Kong. I like King Kong.
Queen Latifah.
Ooh, no, I'm not a big fan of Queen Latifah.
Okay.
You know what? I do like Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is that person that every time she's in something, like, why in the F would they make her Adam Sandler's love interest in the latest movie? And then
is the Queen elite was what we're asking here, Dan. There you go. Is Queen Elizabeth
there's
elite?
another mic if you want it, man.
No, you want to get your top 4 monarchs?
Yeah. He said he has a check for you. He has money for you.
Talent fee coming in.
All 3 of our listeners.
Don't worry about
that. 2 of them are here, you and I. So I like doing
what about
that
Queen
stuff.
the band?
I like doing that. You listen to it in the moment. Well, no, your Wi-Fi is almost as bad as Goz's. You may not. Like, that's the worst thing is, like, Dan is very smart, and Dan has a different, like, we think alike about a lot of things, but the things we think differently on, he's earned my respect enough that I want to hear what he thinks. And then, like, I'll be on there with him and Barry, and he'll go, and that's why I think, and I'll be like, I'm in, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, Barry, I wish you still lived with your brother, like when you were kids, so you just walk over and smack him in the back of the head and get him moving again.
Levack, how about I tell you about Lily and David Fine Jewelers? How about that?
But you have to do it in the Queen
accent.
Yes.
Ooh.
Lily and David Fine Jewelers. No, I'm like an old Irish
Stop
person.
in and say hello, Alyssa.
Piggy's up.
Hello, David. That sounded too more Schitt's Creek very much. Like, hello, David. Lily and David Fine Jewelers, Route 50. I like how I'm pointing at them during every. I like this.
I want to do
pointing.
I want to do a movie of our own where we learn nothing about Queen Elizabeth II.
Deuce.
Deuce. We learn nothing about the Deuce, but we write a movie about her life, and Alyssa is Queen Elizabeth from Lily and David. Because, like, Alyssa's tolerance for stupidity is very low, except for some reason my stupidity is accepted and laughed at.
Sorry, this show.
Yeah. So I can just imagine her reading our script, like, up there acting and just being like, what are you morons doing? Why am I I have the best selection of jewelry. I have prices for every budget. I have every we do golden coated roses. We do buy one get one wedding bands. And you've got me up here with a powdered wig. Fighting King Koopa. Like, why am I? And the ratings would be gigantic.
Huge. There's my wedding band right there, by
there
the way.
It is.
If you haven't heard the story, there's the logo. Yeah, all right.
Oh,
close
look
enough.
at you.
I'm going in the same direction.
You look like you're a really bad dancer, though.
What's going on there? Lily and David Fine Jewelers, Route 50, the shops of Will. When you stop in, ask them, hey, I heard Levack and Goz talking. They want you to perform as a queen during some type of soon-to-be performance.
But then, just awkwardly turn to David like you were talking to him the whole time, and not Alyssa. and then be like, yeah, when are you gonna be the queen? Do you still have the fanny pack they gave you?
Yes, of course.
What do you do
right
with
when
it?
you walk into my house, it's hanging right there.
It's like decorative.
It's like the first thing you see when you walk in. I'll send a picture to Alyssa and David if they want to see it. It's the first thing people see when they walk into our house. A fanny pack of Lily. And David.
I would like for you to start wearing it
in public.
Yes, it's a gift from our good friends at Lily and David Fine Jewelers. They're the kings and queens of giftery.
Ooh.
And you just don't even appreciate, respect, or wear the fanny pack. It's a very beautiful fanny pack.
I'll start using that. The queens and kings of jewelry.
Yes, I said giftery.
Oh, giftery.
Yeah.
How dare I?
Yes. If I'm going to make up a word, you're going to use it. I love those guys. They're great. I just like when she hears the stupid shit I say, and she laughs at it. Because I never, the first time I met her, so the first time I ever, I met her once briefly, very briefly. But the first time I actually met her and got to actually speak and be part of her company and talk to her was right after you voluntarily left the radio station, rewriting history.
Sure.
And she was very protective of you. She didn't want us coming in there and undermining what you had done for them. And I think it took about 15 seconds for her to realize that you were still my dude, and I wasn't in there. I was in there because I thought, okay, I can help her still. Because she originally I was doing endorsements for them. You were getting married. I was like, it's stupid that I would do it when a guy who was actually going to go in there and get his wedding ring and his engagement ring and everything could go in there. And you made a great relationship. She scared the piss out of me in 13 seconds. She was in there what are you? Oh, you're gonna leave your radio partner and you think you can just walk in here and be accepted?
I don't think she said that.
That's what it felt like. That was the vibe.
You were doing what was best for business. She is awesome.
No, best for me. Me personally.
By the way, when you do a show, a sports talk radio show, and you're out live somewhere, it's good to have both hosts sitting next to each other. When you promote it for a football show.
What if you did a Super Bowl? Oh, they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore either. Sorry. What if you had to hire? I see you have notes next to you.
Oh, I did my picks. I'm ready.
Week 1 NFL wagers.
I went analog, buddy. Boy, somebody's smoking the pot.
What is going on in here? If you were,
dude, I don't know if people realize weed's legal, not mandatory. You don't have to do it all the time.
It smells like a college campus in here.
Yeah.
We're okay.
Better now. So, girl, come here often. Come around here.
Woo-hoo. Here's what I like to ask Levack for our audio audience, because here's what I'm going to do for this weekend.
She didn't come over until the smell of pot was in the air. Once the pot was here, she was like, I'm going over there.
I'm going to make sure our audio audience,
won't go away either.
Potentially our visual audience, have this pick segment laid out. Would you like me to bring back the music we used for our pregame show for the Empire a few weeks ago that you loved?
Oh, hell no. That was terrible.
No music underneath
If you want to, go ahead.
Right.
You can put it there if you want. So what you're telling me, let me explain to everybody watching Levack and Goz live from Hooters on Wolf Road. $3 short drafts of Coors and Miller Lite, which are pints, and then a $5, I think it was Sam Adams or something. So what Goz is saying is it costs money for music, and he's lazy and cheap, and he's only bought one song. So he would like to put music under our football picks, but he only has one song he's allowed to use, and it's the crappy, terrible one that I mocked him for at the pregame show for the championship game. So yeah, go ahead, guys. Play that steaming.
So there you go.
Crap.
We're gonna play that music here. Your live audience is not going to hear the music. The replay audience will hear it. I do have the list of games.
You didn't. All right, now if you're not even going to put it here, I need this. I need the most recent odds.
I have them right here in front of me.
Oh, you do?
Via the great people at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, never heard of them. I think I'll heard of you because I'm about to take that money.
Smarties.
We're going to save the New York teams at the end, correct? That's usually the way we like to do it for the New York squads.
And unless while I'm reading through these, I accidentally, because I meant to write them at the bottom, but then I realized I just wrote them in time. So if I accidentally start, you may have to just
I'll do this then. I will follow your lead.
Why don't you give the game, and then I'll do a pick, and we'll go back.
We'll start with the 1 o'clock games. Let's start with
they come first.
They too. We'll start with the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are getting 7 points in this game. The over-under, according to our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, don't forget promo code 518, 45.5. Colts, Texans. Let's jump in that.
What was the spread again? Because I was finding them.
+7 for Houston there at home.
I'm glad you said +7 because I love the Texans in this game. I think the Colts, I feel really bad for Frank Reich. I feel like he's a hell of a coach. And he's either a hell of a coach who keeps getting stuck with a quarterback who just isn't what he looks like, or he isn't what you thought he was or what he used to be anymore, or maybe he retires on you way too early. And then everybody goes, oh, well, you got to win now. You got Matt Ryan. No, you don't have Matty Ice. You have Matty Ice Tub because he's too old to do what he normally used to do. Sure, you've got an upgrade from Carson Wentz, but there's a gentleman in the parking lot throwing a squeaky football to his dog who is an upgrade on Carson Wentz, and weird too, by the way, because he's in a Hooters parking lot. I really think the Texans are a team that you're going to want to wager on a lot this year. I think they are going to be a team that the public is going to fade way too long. I think Lovie Smith's going to get him going. I think E.T. Neck, is that Davis Mills?
Davis Mills.
I think Davis Mills is an NFL quarterback. I'm not saying he's a great NFL quarterback, but he's an NFL quarterback, which is a serious upgrade. The beautiful T is here, and now it's a party. So give me that's actually one of my favorite picks of the entire weekend.
A lock, dare we say?
I'm not. Well, are we gonna do it at the end? Or you want
We'll
right
wait till the end.
Okay. Well, in the end, I'll tell you it's a lock. No, it's definitely one of my favorite picks of the weekend. Give me the Texans +7 over the Colts. I might get ballsy and bet them outright.
Whoa!
But I'm definitely +7.
I love Houston as well. Here's what Houston has in this game.
I love the Colts. So no, sorry.
Indianapolis is going to have a really good year. That schedule is really soft, and Indy will win the AFC South. But this matchup, two things. Week 1, my theme, home team getting points. That's happening, and it's a divisional game. A divisional underdog I love taking because, like you said,
that is your rule.
The public always thinks it's the better team. Divisional games are usually far closer. Love Houston, although the one question for me is Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith is somehow back in the NFL as a head coach after being terrible at Illinois. Maybe premature firing in Chicago did lead the Bears to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. Maybe he got canned too quick in Chicago, but I will take Houston as well in this matchup with the points.
But he's an adult in the room in Houston, which is something that they haven't really – like from the day Bill O'Brien went from head coach to head coach / GM, there has not been an adult in the room. There's an adult in the room now, and I think that's going to be a big help for them. All right, moving on.
49ers, Bears. The Bears +7 at home against San Francisco.
This is a tough game for me because I think the 49ers have finally reached that level of overrated. That doesn't mean I think they're a bad team, but I don't know what Trey Lance is yet. I don't know how the offense is going to work with Deebo Samuel missing all that time. There is turmoil over the bringing back of the most beautiful man in the world, Jimmy G. And you're still a touchdown favorite on the road. I know the Bears are rough. 8 players on IR already. But I don't know that the Bears are that rough. That all of that being said, if I'm forced to pick this game, I think it could be a battle of attrition where the Niners do ultimately cover in the fourth quarter late. Give me the Niners. I'll lay the 7.
This is one of my favorite games in the 1 o'clock window in week 1. Here's why. George Kittle's banged up. That drama involving Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo isn't quite done yet. Reports coming from the West Coast that Trey Lance's goal this offseason was not just to be the starting quarterback, but a team captain. They usually name 6 captains for the Niners as captains. They only named 5 this year. Trey Lance wasn't one of them. Not a team captain. Garoppolo still on the roster. New offensive coordinator with Mike McDaniel in Miami. John Danielle, before you get your panties all in a bunch and get too excited, Chicago's going to be the worst team in the NFL this season. But remember this. In 2020, we all thought the Jaguars were going to be the worst team. They were. They won week 1 outright. 2021, we all thought the Texans would be the worst team in the NFL. They were also very bad. They won outright in week 1. Home team getting points. Give me the Bears in this matchup. And potentially the biggest upset in week 1, Chicago knocking off San Francisco.
I will say this, Jean Danielle, I disagree. Bears are not the worst team in the NFL. They're the second worst team in the NFL. I'll tell you who the worst is later. So for once in the history of our friendship, I am being nicer to you than Goz is. Take that.
You're not the worst. We're not the worst. Steelers-Bengals. Game is in Cincinnati. Another 1 o'clock kickoff. Bengals 6.5-point favorites against Pittsburgh.
I got to tell you, the Bengals, I don't see anything that tells me they're still not going to be the king of the 3-point game. That's who they've been, right? I know the offensive line is improved. I know that Burrow now is like he doesn't have a gallbladder or something. All these things. I think the Steelers are going to treat this game like a freaking Super Bowl. I think Tomlin is going to play tough. He's going to play rugged. He's going to have his team all, rowing the boat in the same direction. I love the Steelers plus 6.5 in this game in Cincinnati.
My least favorite game to pick of week 1. I went from my favorite to my least favorite.
You just did my least favorite as your favorite. Now one of my favorites is your least favorite.
Because all the things I just touched on earlier about divisional teams. Now the Bengals are a home favorite, but Pittsburgh's had success. Mitchell Trubisky, the quarterback for the Steelers, not Kenny Pickett. This one's really difficult. If I really had to decide, this is going to be like a fourth quarter turnover, a field goal, something weird's going to happen. I'm going with Cincinnati, but you hear the hesitation in my voice. I'll go with the Bengals just because Burrow's more proven than Trubisky, but I'm not confident about that pick. My least confident pick of the weekend.
Just doubled my bet on the Steelers.
Eagles, Lions. Lions getting 4 points at home against Philadelphia.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Knock on wood if you're with me. It's the Hard Knocks effect. I love the Lions. I think the Lions are going to play really good football this year because they all believe in their head coach. But I think that Vegas knows everyone loves the Lions right now. I think this should be a 6-7 point game. I think the Eagles should be maybe an 8-point favorite in this game, and they're what, a 4? 4-point favorite. This is a pull at your heartstrings to dare you to bet Detroit, to beg you to bet Detroit. You can't bet Detroit. You got to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Ignore the Hard Knocks effect.
This game is sold out for the first time in Detroit, non-Thanksgiving, in 5+ years for the Lions. It's going to be a great crowd on hand. That final scene, this isn't a spoiler, but go check out that final scene in Hard Knocks. It's one of the most powerful final scenes of any Hard Knocks season ever. Shout out to Paul Camarata, Gilder Linzone, and everybody a part of the crew this year on Hard Knocks. Now, that 4 is a weird-ass number because here's what I feel like is going to happen. It's going to be a battle. Our boy Scotty Hanson's going to be losing his mind on red zone. The Lions are going to do something. They're going to have the lead in the fourth quarter. They're going to lose on a game-winning field goal, but that covers. Philly wins. Detroit covers. Give me the 4 points for the Lions at home.
Like it.
Browns, Panthers. It's a pick'em, according to our friends at DraftKings. Over under 42. That line's moved from 41.5 from earlier in the week. Baker Mayfield at home, not wearing a Browns uniform, wearing a Panther uniform. Levack, where do you see this game going?
There's certain tours that I really want to go to, right? Like I've only seen Pearl Jam once. I'd love to see Pearl Jam again. I've never been to Megadeth. I feel like that'd be a fun show. A lot of tours I'd like to see. If all the Beatles came back to life, I'd go to that tour. But the tour I believe in the most is the Baker Mayfield Revenge Tour. When Baker Mayfield, those little people, when they get angry, it's just like superpowers. I gotta take the Panthers because the Revenge Tour is on. Number 1 tour date, maybe the only tour date for the entire season. I may not take the Panthers the rest of the year. Give me Carolina.
Panthers are going to light it up. There's reports out there now. I believe it's real accounts, too, about McCaffrey's status, that he is still practicing, but he's dealing with a shin injury. Fantasy football, right? Fantasy football managers are like, you got to be kidding me. So if you give me a pick'em and the over-under is 42, that's a real possibility. It could be 21-21. So this game could go to overtime, and I'll take the over. I love the over in this game, over 42. I'm with you as well.
Ooh,
Baker's going to sling the football all over the place. Give me the Panthers, potential overtime victory, but I like the over far more in that game.
Breaking news. Christian McCaffrey breaks arm peeling banana. It was
in your notes.
It was terrible. It was terrible. Someone just handed me these notes. And
was in there.
Christian. Another one.
We got another one.
While laying on a pillow, pulled his neck. Christian McCaffrey is like there are delicate, fragile eggs in this world that are far more durable than Christian McCaffrey. Like Darren McFadden was yes. Darren McFadden once got hurt in a pillow fight, and he looks at Christian McCaffrey and says, "What a bitch! What a puss!"
For our new audience, that Darren McFadden joke has lasted many years. Where Levack said that as a joke on the air, and he heard a person here in the Capital Region say that to his face.
Came up to me and told me the joke. No idea who I was. Heard the joke. Joke theft. He was the Carlos Mencia of Jessica Stone's.
Saints Falcons game in Atlanta, 5.5. They're not serving Chick-fil-A in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, whatever it's called, because it's a Sunday. Falcons 5.5-point dogs at home.
I love what the Falcons are doing. I think Arthur Smith, just like his father, will deliver. That owns FedEx. Yeah,
okay.
Like
I got confused for a second.
Yeah. So
Arthur Blank and Home Depot, a lot of orange there.
Depot, but Smith's dad
at Hooters
owned FedEx.
Right. Gotcha.
And then we're at Hooters on Wolf Road for the Bills Rams. You like orange?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a weird color that could be construed as some form of orange, and I'm fat, I'm built like an orange. So here's the deal. I like what the Falcons are doing. I think the Falcons will be a good team. I think there's going to need to be some patience to get to that point. The Saints are ahead. They're a far more talented roster. I like Dennis Allen, and then I started looking up Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen was the Raiders coach in 2012 and 13, and I think he dabbled with 14. I'm not positive. I don't remember. I think he had a couple games. Care to guess what Dennis Allen's there's going to be a birthday celebration right behind us.
We'll let it go on.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing.
I would say
500.
500, coach.
He would need to win 20 straight games to become a 500 coach.
Ooh.
He is 8-28 as a head coach.
Ooh.
He was 4-12 twice and then went 0-4 before he got canned. That's right. We're going to be in this video from the Friends.
So we want to move the camera to watch this. That's what I'm curious.
Okay,
I
don't.
We'll power through here.
He's flipping off his friends. We'll do play-by-play. Yay!
Falcons.
I'm gonna take the Saints because the quarterbacks, even though Jameis Winston is a bum,
Dr. Winston.
He's not. 2012, the quarterback room for the Raiders was Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, and Terrell Pryor. 2013, the quarterback room for the Raiders was Matt McGloin and Terrell Pryor. Jameis Winston is an upgrade on those quarterback rooms because this isn't the Carson Palmer after. This isn't Matt Leinart at USC. This is give me the Saints. Give me the minus the 5.5.
Home team divisional game. Give me the points. The Atlanta Falcons. A lot of good points you made there. Jameis Winston's cracking me up with his diagnosis of the
I've gathered a lot of stool.
The ankles. Atlanta might be really bad this season. I hope Drake London's healthy. He could be really good. Kyle Pitts, let's get in the end zone more.
Come on, Mariota. Go MM.
Give me the Falcons at home. Divisional dog. I like that. I'll take the points. Patriots, Dolphins. The Dolphins are a 3.5-point favorite at home. Miami's had a lot of success against New England in the past. Patriots, Dolphins. What do you see in this game?
I'm not full buying the Dolphins hype yet. I think the Dolphins might be one of the two most overhyped teams in all of the NFL this year, maybe the most overhyped team. And there's just something about the Pats. I just feel like they thrive on those kind of things. Mac Jones has got an attitude. He was starting fights with other teams during practice in the preseason. Give me the Pats. I'll take that 3.5. Maybe it's a field goal game. Maybe I went outright.
New England just feels like the better team, and I was a big New England hater last year. I had joined Patriot Nation with you last season. Now it seems as if New England's going to be on the edge of being a postseason team, and they suck again. Like the roster, I mean, overall, if you look at talent, no one's going crazy about New England. But Belichick's still there. I like all that stuff. I look at that first half number 2, New England, 2.5 points underdog. If you want to play something in that game, maybe you play what the Patriots are at halftime because you get a first-year head coach versus Bill Belichick. Yeah, I'll take Belichick in that. Give me New England in that matchup.
Do you notice now that Patriots fans have lost all hope? I'm now willing to be nice to the Pats. Not the fans. You still suck. But I'll be nice to the team because of that.
Jaguars, Commanders. Minus 2.5 for Washington at home in this game. Our last game in the 1 o'clock window, not involving a New York team.
As your good friend, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once said, You take your 2.5 points, shine them up real nice, and stick them straight up. Yo, Rudy Poo candy ass. I don't need them. Jags went outright. I think the Jags are going to give people fits this year. You got a real coach in Doug Peterson. I think Travis Etienne might be one of the up for offensive MVP this year. This is the team that has your boy Zay Jones is there. Marvin Jones Jr. Come on, man.
I get to pick between Carson Wentz and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You're lucky.
I've taken so many underdogs. I got to stop doing that at this point. I will take Washington just because the prove it factor. I know Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the man. I know Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach. I'll take Washington barely. The defensive line's the difference. D-line too good in D.C. We're going to move to the 4:30 window now. We're going to get back to the New York teams at the end. Packers, Vikings. Vikings, 1.5. They are an underdog at home in this game out in Minnesota.
So we know that division game underdog, you're going to take the Vikings. I can just do that. Really?
This is the one game where that theory's going to work.
The trend
only on this game, because if that number's 3, that number's 3.5. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do Minnesota. Why is it only a 1.5? What the hell? A 1.5? What do we? Give me a pick 'em. Give me some. The 1.5 is scaring the hell out of me because I'm going Green Bay. I'm going Aaron Rodgers. I'm going all those guys. Minnesota's going to feel heartbreak early on. Again, week 1 is not an entire season. The Vikings should be a really good team this year, offense in particular. But O'Connell's unproven as a head coach. Kirk Cousins can make a mistake, and the line scares the hell out of me. One of the other 2 games I would not like to play because that 1.5 is scaring me. I will take Green Bay and buck the trend for just that only game.
You said something interesting there, though. You said Aaron Rodgers and all those guys, which I think proves what my point was about to be. Name 5 other Packers.
To quote our guy Joey Haas in his podcast, who dat?
Yeah.
Who are those guys?
Alan Lazard, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones.
Our guy Aaron Jones. We love Aaron Jones.
But like I think we've been brainwashed to believe that as soon as that ayahuasca smoking hippie runs out on the field, the Jeopardy ruining, big mouth talking, grandma killing, COVID spreading, son of a bitch, Aaron Rodgers walks on the field, they're going to win. The only problem I have with the Vikings this year is everybody likes the Vikings. That's the only problem I have. I wish no one liked them as much as I do, because I think they're going to be really, really good this year in spite of Kirk Cousins. I can't take Aaron Rodgers in this game. I can't do it. It's Aaron Rodgers versus an entire Vikings roster. It looks really, really good. I also think this could be one of those things where like a defensive guy in Zimmer builds a team, and then an offensive guy in O'Connell comes in and gets it over the top. I'm 1.5 points, home dog. Give me the Vikings.
Let the big dogs bark. Raiders, Chargers, Levack, Vegas heading to the West Coast. Technically, they're in the desert. Don't worry about my travel situation. Chargers are at home, air quotes. 3.5 point favorites in that game.
Did you see it may have been a fake or it may have just been taken down. The Rams, it was tweeted out that, be nice to the Raiders fans because they're going to outnumber you 4-1 this weekend. Obviously, I'm going to take the Raiders. I don't feel great about this, but I think what it's going to come down to with that field goal, Brandon Staley, he thinks he's smarter than he is, and I see him making a really stupid decision late that gives the Raiders the win. So I'm going to take my Raiders. They're not a very deep team, especially not an offensive line, wide receiver, or secondary. Just a couple places. But they're a good team, and I think they're going to get this done.
I'm going to go back to the Chargers on this one. I'm not as a huge Charger fan as others are this season. A lot of people say if you've got to take a team out of the AFC to get to the Super Bowl that's not named Buffalo, a lot of people are hopping on the Charger bandwagon. They got Khalil Mack. They were aggressive this offseason.
J.C. Jackson.
I'll take the advantage for the coaching staffs, though. Staley, although he's a madman, thinks he's playing Madden. Did I say Staley? Stanley. I do it again every year. Brandon Staley. 2019 winner of the Brandon Staley Award, a.k.a. What Coach Don't You Know in the NFL? He's back. They win this game. Chiefs, Cardinals.
Well, I just want to remind you, too, you talk about coaches. There's only one that's had an in-depth conversation with Jeff Levack in that matchup.
That's Josh McDaniels.
That's it. So don't. And by the way, never lost. That's the Raiders head coach. 4-0 in the preseason.
Another team I can't figure out, that's the Arizona Cardinals. They're at home against the Chiefs. They're getting 6 points in that matchup against Kansas City.
I'll figure this one out for you. Overrated. Hey, what's up, bud?
Hey, Cam, how are you, buddy?
Too much drama in the ARI. I think that you're going to see Andy Reid and Mahomes come out and try to remind everybody they're still pretty damn good. Like everybody's talking about, like they don't exist anymore. I'll take the Chiefs. I'll lay the 6 in a hay. I'm not scared.
Andy Reid in week 1. Andy Reid off a bye week. Go look up the numbers. It's like 80% plus.
Andy Reid at a buffet. Unstoppable.
Take Andy Reid. Take the Chiefs there. Our 2 primetime games. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys getting 2.5 at home in the Lone Star State.
This is easy. It's might be the easiest game all week.
Uh-oh.
What time is kickoff?
8:30.
Yeah. Who's the quarterback of the Bucs?
Tom Brady.
So it's late?
Yeah.
Give me the boys. Give me 2.5 for the boys. It's ARP game is what this is. Old man Brady.
I want to defend Tom Brady right now.
Dude looks so skinny right now, like a hula hoop and a Cheerio. When he
Dallas
showers, you got to tie a board to his ass so he didn't go down the drain.
Dallas should have beaten Tampa in that week 1 game last year, the kickoff game. They got away with a pass interference call on Evans. Tampa might get smoked. They might get run off. Who's going to throw a block for a 45-year-old quarterback? The running back still might be fat. I'm wearing my Buccaneer gear right now for the audio. They might get torched by Dallas.
I don't want to like alarm you. I was at the gym earlier. And someone went, "Hey, Leonard," and I went, "What?" And he went, "Leonard," and I went, "Levack." He goes, "No, Fournette." "Oh, you're not Leonard." He thought I was Leonard Fournette. He's like, because I just saw Fournette. I was going to compliment you on losing some weight. And I was like, "Thank you, but I'm Jeff Levack. I'm not Leonard Fournette."
Doesn't make me feel better.
No, yeah, it was
Cowboys
weird. It was
big.
awkward. It was awkward for him. I felt good about it.
Final game before we get to the New York teams. Broncos, Seahawks, 12th man, 6.5 points. Led by Geno Smith, ?
This is what's up, baby. This is the game right here. Okay. You want to talk about games? Broncos are up there with the Dolphins of being overrated. Extremely talented. Russ is done. The kitchen's closed. He can't cook anymore. Pete Carroll knows Russell Wilson better than anyone. The blueprint that will be displayed Monday night by the Seattle Seahawks will be used for the entire season by teams with better personnel to shut down the Broncos. Seahawk Nation, let's fly.
I have the Seahawks as well because I'm too invested in Rashad Penny in fantasy football. And Nathaniel Hackett, I know he seems to be the guy. He seems to be the guy in Denver. He wasn't a great offensive coordinator. Already got canned at Jacksonville and canned at Buffalo.
And then in the can, yeah.
I got the Seahawks as well. All right, the 3 New York
By the way,
teams,
you hired him because you thought he would bring that ayahuasca smoking, grandma killing, COVID spreading son of a Aaron Rodgers with him, and he didn't.
No, he didn't. Jets, Ravens. Jets +7. Joe Flacco, the quarterback, as we found out that everyone lied to us, and we told Zach Wilson to be back week 1. Not the case. Wilson likely out till week 4 against Pittsburgh. What do you see in this Jets-Ravens matchup?
I really want to take big game Bob Saleh and the Jets on this. I just really
Every week it's going to be big game.
There's like, you see so much potential. Like, Carter at running back. Like, he's got so many better players than people realize because they're wearing green. They think they suck. However, you mentioned the quarterback situation. I just can't rally behind it. And I think that there's players on this Ravens team that are going to be household names by the end of the year. Rashad Bateman, I don't know if you've heard of Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to be pretty good. Contract year.
I've heard of him. Yeah,
he's a better quarterback than agent and a better running back than both those. But no, I don't feel great about it. I'm not going to I'm going to responsibly put a small number on this one. But give me the Ravens. I'll lay the number.
There is not one game this summer I've gone more back and forth on than Ravens Jets. Again, you've heard it throughout our entire picks. I love taking the underdogs getting points in week 1, but it's a backup quarterback. I'm also going up against John Harbaugh, who's one of the most successful coaches in the preseason in week 1. Lamar Jackson and a healthy Ravens team, the Ravens team that I picked to win the Super Bowl. This will be the most popular play in survivor pools. If you're in that, I think a lot of people are going to take Baltimore week 1. And because of all the public money, I bet Baltimore, by the time Sunday morning hits, will have the most money wagered by the public on them in this game. I want to buy the hook. I want it to be 7.5 and then take New York.
Do it.
I'm taking the Jets. I think Baltimore wins, but New York keeps it within 3.
Bold strategy.
I'm going back to my my take there.
Bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
Giants, Titans, games in Tennessee. 5.5-point favorites. The Titans are at home against Big Blue.
What would technically be taller? A Giant or a Titan?
Ooh, excellent question.
I don't know the answer.
I would say Giant.
You think a Giant would be taller than a Titan?
Yep.
But aren't Titans like gods? Weren't they? They were like, they predated the like Greek gods, I think.
I think they're up on the clouds. That helps their elevation of height.
Yeah. Maybe they're not even that tall at all. Maybe it's not clouds.
I hope Andrew Catalan's on that game. That gives us like a 5-minute pregame.
Yeah. Just like,
historically speaking, Titans were known to be 57 stones high. And everyone else, that's taller than a giant. Okay.
I really broke this game down. I went down, I looked at it, and I really wanted to understand it. And it just came down to one thing for me. The Titans suck. Titans are just crap. Ryan Tannehill is deplorable. I just hate him. Give me the G, man. Give me a win to start off the Dable era. I mean, with the points, but I mean, who knows? Maybe even a W. And Daniel Jones. I want to be on like a freaking Zoom call with you on Tuesday from my hotel, the fabulous Courtyard Marriott in Columbus, Georgia. Or actually, I might just sit in my fabulous Chevy Silverado from Mohawk Chevrolet and have you eat crow over Daniel Jones. Give me the G-Men plus 5.5.
Titans are my pick and survivor this week.
Oh!
I'm taking the Titans. I'm taking the Titans with the points. That's
everybody
the
in
play
his survivor pool.
I got the Titans.
You're out.
Before we get to Bills Rams and give our official pick for the night, let's talk about our friends in the Mohawk family. Mohawk Chevy,
love them.
Mohawk Honda, road trips on the way, tailgates upcoming. Fall is here. Now it's time to trade in your vehicle. 2023s are on the way. 2022s you can get for a great price. Mohawk Honda taking care of you. As always, stopping wherever you're listening across upstate New York. They want to make sure that they find the price that fits your budget more. Trade in your vehicle. You'll get a great price on it as well. Shout out to everybody. Ken McKenna, Brian McKenna, Lindsey Harridan, Greg Johnson, the VIP man, Morales, and more. Little programming note, Levack and I, because as Levack mentioned earlier in the show, he's heading to Georgia next week. We are not going to be live from Mohawk Honda on Thursday, September 22nd. So mark that down. Thursday, September 22nd. We'll be live on location in Mohawk Honda. Check them out on social media. All great rides on the way. Mohawk Honda, where they always go out of their way to please you. I didn't win on that one. DraftKings
me
plus 2.5. The Rams at home tonight to the defending Super Bowl champions. Over under 52 points. Levack, take us through tonight's matchup between the Bills and the Rams, where you can watch it right here at Hooters on Wolf Road in Albany.
Yes, $3 short beers, which would be just regular pints of Coors, Miller, and then also $5. I think it's Sammy
Adams.
Yeah,
Hobart's own.
So get
Boston boys, stand up.
How's that?
That's a reference only Matt Woods would get. He
Oh.
went to Hobart, the rapper Sammy Adams.
Oh, who's that? Who's the rapper Sammy Adams?
He was very popular when I was in college. You know who
Aw.
the rapper Sammy Adams is.
Listen,
Of course.
I gotta be
Dan
honest,
knows.
Dan. I love you to death. Hold on a second.
Sammy Adams, go check out his stuff.
And I don't ever not want you to come over here, but if you ever come over here and send Nicole again, our friendship is fucking dead. Just saying. Just saying.
That's a fair trade-off.
Stop pretending you know who Sammy Adams is. You look like off-season Santa with that beard.
I love Sammy Adams. I think he knows he went to Hobart.
Season Santa
I heard
gets his
that.
wife.
He's younger than me. Are you wearing a do-rag? Cam is wearing a do-rag. Yes, you are. You're wearing a headband.
I'm going first before the Bills Mafia insults me. Buffalo's going to lose some games this year. There's not going to be a lot they lose. I don't feel good about this one tonight for the Bills. Banner getting raised. Los Angeles. Sean McVay. Matthew Stafford. It's a high-scoring game. If I get one bet, I would take the over for 52. I would take that. Rams game-winning field goals. Time expires. They take down Buffalo in game one. I'm sorry. What's the final on that one? 31-28 is the final tonight. LA over Buffalo. Don't hurt me, Rams. Don't hurt me, Bills fans.
They're not hurting you. They pity you because you're wrong. I'm also going to tag along on that over because 52 is such a big number. I really feel like it's going to be a slow game early. I feel like it's going to be kind of a physical fist fight early. But I can see a scenario, and every time I see the Rams logo, all I can think of is what Eric Dickerson said, and the nose of the Ram looks like a penis. But I'm anytime you put a number that high, I'm not going to bet under because they're begging you to bet the under. You got to take the over and move forward. The Bills are the best team in the AFC. The Bills are the best team top to bottom in the NFL. There's better players here and there, but to have a 53-man the way the Bills do is phenomenal. I think Sean McDermott could possibly be the best coach in the NFL. I know that McDermott and Bean are the best head coach GM tandem in the NFL. And I think they look at a game like this as something they have to win. They've heard all offseason, yeah, but you can't run the football. I'm willing to bet somewhere in the Bills' locker room or in people's rooms, there's pictures of them all looking at the clock running out as they're losing a second straight year. I think they want to make a statement, and I think they're going to come into this game, and they're going to win it. I think they're going to win it by more than 2.5. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills.
So that's it. The seats are getting packed. Hooters is slowly starting to fill in here, man. A little bit.
Everybody walked in here today, and they said, forget the waitresses. We're here to see Levack and Goz.
These two.
That's what they did. They said, forget those boobs. We want to see these boobs. And we said, stop motorboating us. It's weird. And then we moved on.
The next time you and I talk, we'll be recapping week 1 and all the big storylines.
Do you want to try and get Tuesday done? I will
yes.
tentatively I'll promise to try. I think so Tuesday we have a press conference earlier for the Columbus Lions. And then I will tell everybody I need to be, what is it, 4th?
Let's do this. Let's not promise Tuesday is going to be live. There will be content out some point early next week to recap week 1.
No, I mean, look, I don't know if you know this. I own that freaking team. Right? Like, I'm the Lion King. I was talking to Commissioner Siegfried of the National Arena League. He called me and he said, Emperor, and he goes, what do I do? He goes, what do I? He sounded concerned.
Yeah.
This is a man. This man played Iron Man football, you know? He's a commissioner. He's a realtor, for F's sake. And he was nervous. And I went, don't worry, Commissioner Siegfried, Chris, my friend Chris, you can call me the Lion King. And he went, oh, and he held up a housing contract and he gave it the nose thing like Rafiki. And so I like literally like what you want to do? You want to do 4 on Tuesday? Want me to throw my weight around a little bit down there? You want me to show everybody?
How about 4:30?
4:30 on Tuesday. Levack and Goz. Unless I don't have as much power as I think.
Come join us under the orange roof. Give us some advice before we head into the football season.
Forget about 4:30 on Tuesday. Get your Rudy Pukene over here. We didn't do Q&A today.
We ran out of time. It's a 90-minute show. It's the longest show ever.
Is the game kickoff yet? Are there any questions you want to hit real quick? Can we hit them quick?
I
think anything?
Daniel, a lot of these were asking about the picks for our tonight. Who do you like tonight? Daniel, +2.5. Levack likes the Bills. I like the Rams. Who do you like tonight? Tommy, we got you. We got you covered.
All right.
Naming a head coach. Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right,
screw you guys then. Here's some advice. Come to Hooters, you losers. I mean, like there's beer, there's wings, there's Goz, there's the beautiful Boston Dan, there's Cam. And most importantly, Matt Woods. We have one Matt Woods. We tried to get 2. We only got 1, but we tried to get the good one, but we have Matt Woods. So it's it's all right. We have the other one. Like if the Matt Woods and Matt Woods were on the cover of the Twins, the Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger, we got the Danny DeVito one. You want to jump on there, Matt Woods? The other Matt Woods? You know how to work those? You never did back when you had to.
Careful.
I haven't done this in years.
There he is.
Barely,
There's our audio audience.
There you go. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah. I mean,
there's a beer.
It's just like the old days. I'm off the screen, talking, and you guys are doing your thing.
I'm going to tell you what. I would love for you to give me a reason why everyone should come to Hooters tonight. Now that you are an authority figure here at Hooters.
I mean, have you seen my staff? I mean, they're amazing staff. They go above and beyond.
I just want to point out to everyone before I end this broadcast. What's that? Kirk Cousins is that man. Don't let him drive.
Yeah,
that man should not drive.
We should have cut him off a long time ago. I apologize.
Wow.
For that.
By the way, every time Matt Woods said staff, he was pointing at his penis and his pants aren't on.
That's